Thank you. Thank you very much. Hi. Good to see you, and thank you so much for being with us. Very excited. Earlier today, I got an Xbox for my nephew, and it was easily the best trade I ever made. Before we get to our first guest, let's check in on our sister home shopping network and see what they're selling right now.
Bitches love bling, and look how good it looks on Karma. So this is a little bit of bling that hangs on their tail. When they walk away, you can see that little, thing we don't want to see. So this will make their brown eye blue.
Whoa, all right. Did not see that coming or going.
3, 2, 1.
It's Tampa Bay Tonight with Kerry McNally. Kerry's guest, ear, nose, and throat doctor and stand-up comedian, Vien Phommachanh. St. Petersburg Chief of Police and perennial academic, Chief Holloway. And actress, home shopping celebrity, and lifetime TV movie queen, Tanya Christensen.
Hot crowd. Great to see everybody here tonight. Settle down, take it easy. All right, our very first guest is a very funny human being who studied to be a doctor at Tulane University School of Medicine and is also an incredibly gifted, wait for it, stand-up comedian. Let's take a look.
I'm married. I've been married for 20 years. Yeah. I dated my wife in the dark ages, back when it was weird to meet people online. We didn't have Tinder. It was terrible. Like, we couldn't just swipe people's profile pictures. We actually had to push their faces out of the way. Gross. And I totally outkicked my coverage. My wife is way hotter than me. I was just lucky. She'd had some bad relationships, so when she met me, she was just like, whatever.
It is an honor to welcome Dr. Vien Phommachanh. What's up, Doc?
Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
You have a lot of fans here tonight.
I do that. They follow me like legions.
Well, you've got this thing going for you. I mean, you are a doctor, legitimate ear, nose, and throat doctor, right? And that's technically called a...
Otolaryngologist.
I'm sorry?
Otolaryngologist.
Say that 5 times fast.
ENT.
Okay,
ear, nose, and throat.
Oh, ENT.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And at what point, when did you decide you were going to be a doctor? And then at what point in your medical career did you say, I want to do stand-up?
I'm Asian, so I decided when I was conceived, I don't know if you know this, but it's predetermined. We're born, we go to medical school, that's what we do.
I don't know that that's true.
It's true.
It's a little true.
It might be a little generalization.
Yeah.
But
okay.
yeah, but no, I've always wanted to be a doctor.
Yeah.
I can't remember wanting to be anything else.
Sure.
And probably about 5 years ago, I've done comedy off and on, open mics, that's kind of stuff my whole life.
Oh, okay.
Whole adult life. And then about 5 years ago, I decided I just wanted to do comedy professionally on the weekends. So we're coming up on my 5-year anniversary of doing professional comedy.
So tell us about the journey. So as an academic, you decided, well, I should probably maybe take a class, right? And that's exactly what you did. Tell us about that journey.
Use the right word, as a nerd. As a nerd is what you're trying to say. Yeah, most people would just do it. Comedy's an art form. You go to an open mic or whatever.
Right.
But of course, I'm a dork. So I was like, I got to go to school for this.
Right.
Is there even a school for this?
Right.
And luckily, at the local comedy club, there was a class you could take, and you did these little meetings where you writing workshops, a couple writing workshops, and then there was a showcase show. And I was very lucky. My first set, I didn't bomb. I was terrified. I almost quit. I had panic attacks leading up to it. But I did very well. I actually got laughs and applause breaks my first time, and that's sort of what got me hooked.
No, you absolutely killed. If you get a chance to check it out, the class was held at McCurdy's Comedy Club in Sarasota, Florida. It's one of the premier comedy clubs in the nation.
My wife actually took my name, which is funny. It's hilarious. She didn't know this would happen. It would be so painful. Every time she tries to buy something with a credit card, they think she's committing credit card fraud. She's always calling me over like, this is my husband, this is his stupid name. And I'm always like, I don't know who this woman is.
You really crushed, Doc. I'm not trying to shine your apple, being that we're talking about academics. But you are married. You just mentioned your wife. What does she think about your side hustle?
My wife actually loves it. Being a physician can be very stressful. I mean, you get intense, you kind of carry that stuff home, and I think most people know doctors that are just very stiff, then sometimes I would come home and just be a zombie, just stressed out and tired, and this was sort of a way to balance myself.
Right.
And since then, I've just been, a different person when I kind of flip the switch when I'm on stage and when I'm at home. I'm kind of more fun to be around, I think. We'll have to ask her, but in my mind, that's how it is.
And you're now going on the road. You're going, across the country to play some really cool clubs. Mm-hmm. Tell us about one of your recent trips when you were on the road as a stand-up comedian, getting paid.
This year, I'm going to Australia. I'm going to Adelaide, Australia, to do a show for 8 shows in Australia. I've been to the Atlantis Casino in the Bahamas.
Sweet.
I've been all over the country. I think I've been to 20-something states now.
Okay.
So it's the kind of thing that allows me to go places and see things that I don't make time for. I'm not very good at planning vacations and going places. So it's been really cool. I got to film a dry bar special recently in Utah, Provo, Utah. That was a very fun experience. So yeah, it's been really fun just getting out there.
Awesome. All right. Well, what we like to do at this point in the show is what we call the lightning round. Here we have 5 questions, 60 seconds. There are no right answers. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Number 1. If you were not a doctor or a stand-up comedian, what would you be doing for a living and why?
Oof. Cage fighter.
Okay, we were looking for a TV chef because my wife saw your photo and she loves Thai food.
I actually would be a good chef. I just can't, I can only cook one thing at a time.
Okay, number 2, ear, nose, or throat. If you had to pick one, which one and why?
I'd say the nose.
Thank you. You got it. All right, number 3, how did you meet your wife? No, seriously.
College. First girlfriend ever. First girl looked in my direction. She was the one. Because she's the only choice.
Sorry, we were looking for the Golden Bachelor. Cats or dogs?
Cats. Not because I don't like dogs, they're just low maintenance.
Okay. My philosophy is dogs when you're young, cats when you're old. And number 5, our final question. Are you ready? What is the best time you ever had performing on TV?
Ooh, right now. We're watching it unfold.
We have a winner! We have a winner! Dr. Vien, tell everybody where they can follow you, please.
I'm the Comic Doc, COMICDOC, on everything. I have TikTok, I have Instagram.
Dr. Vien Phommachanh, everybody. Give him a round of applause. Thank you so much for being with us, sir. Don't you move a muscle unless it's these. More Tonight is coming right up. The Sunshine City, St. Petersburg, Florida, is home to over 260,000 people. With over $1 billion in annual construction, it is easily one of the fastest growing cities in the United States. Its police department covers an area within 244 miles of coastline, with an annual budget of $140 million. It is led by a gentleman who values education as much as law and order, and as you'll see, has a healthy sense of humor. It is an honor to welcome Chief Anthony Holloway. Welcome, Chief.
Thank you.
It's great to see you. Should I call you Chief Holloway, Anthony Holloway, or Tony?
Whatever you feel like calling me, you can call me. I'll answer to anything, just about. But how does my hair look? Is it okay?
Your hair, you got a little one. Hold on, I got you covered. All right, here we go. Yeah, right there.
Now, how about that?
That's
much better?
Perfect.
Okay.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Tampa. I was born and raised here, so I started in Tampa.
Okay, and you first became a police officer, I think, in 1985?
In 1985, I was hired by the Clearwater Police Department.
And when you first started, did they give you like, sort of like the grunt work, What, you start like right in the car, or were you on foot? What was it like?
Well, first you start off in the academy, so you have to spend time there to learn about police work. And I remember one part of the academy was just like we had a pass-or-fail test. And that pass-or-fail test was you had to tie up an alligator. And when I'm sitting there going, I think I'm going to fail this part of the test.
Okay, let's roll that back a second. An actual real alligator?
Everyone had to do an alligator back.
Well, because that's probably part of the job, right? I mean,
that is part of the job.
yeah, they're out there.
Yes.
I remember once I was playing golf and I did not know, but an alligator was sort of like right behind me, and I screamed like a little girl. I did. I'm not proud of it, but I did.
I did too in training.
Now, what would you say seriously to someone who's thinking about pursuing a career in law enforcement, either as an officer or as a civilian employee?
I think this is a great profession for anyone to join in. And it's a great career because you can do just about anything you want in this career. There's computers, there's investigations. So whatever you really want to be in this profession, you can be that, because when you say law enforcement officer, a lot of people think as an officer, he or she's going to someone's house, making an arrest, and that's it. Well, the part about learning how to interview someone,
Sure.
learn about computer crimes. So there's an array of anything. Some belong to the aviation unit, some have canines. So this career is really whatever you want to make it. In
reading about your career, I was kind of blown away by how important it's been to you to advance your education. Now, you started off with a bachelor's degree in art, but then you also got your MBA. You don't often see those two together. At what point did you say, you know what, I want to get my master's in business?
I came from a chief that I worked for, may his memory be a blessing, Chief Sid Klein. And what he did was, he said, what do you want to be one day? And I said, I want to be a chief. And he says, well, police chief is a business. As you said earlier, $140 million.
Wow.
So he said, you need to go back and get your master's and learn about the business world. So that's why I went back and got my degree in business.
Yeah, and in addition to being a police chief in 3 separate cities, your academic career includes Boston University, Harvard's Kennedy School of Government, the Naval Postgraduate School's Center for Homeland Defense, and the FBI's National Executive Institute. Do you have someone that's inspired you just to keep going to school? I mean, where does that come from, that drive?
You know, law enforcement, I have to say sometimes it's very simple. Officers know how to make the arrest because you can teach them that in the academy. But then after that, how do you run this business? And then how do you prepare your officers? How do you prepare the community? It just is an evolving world.
Yeah.
Because everything evolves all the time.
Yeah, and your wife is an attorney. Do you guys ever find yourself like at the kitchen table going, oh, that's not true, honey. I don't agree with that at all. And have like a healthy debate around the kitchen table?
Well, she doesn't do anything criminal, which is great.
Okay, well, I hope she doesn't do anything criminal.
So she doesn't practice criminal law.
Oh, there you go, okay.
So that's the best part about it.
Great.
So I do run some things by her, and she'll say, like, what are you thinking about? So
Right.
it's really that person that keeps me steady.
Okay. And outside of law enforcement and managing, like, I think it's 600 plus police officers and then 300 civilian employees, do you have a hobby?
Maybe just go out and go for a walk, maybe go for a drive or something like that. You really just want to stop thinking about police work and
Sure.
just think about something else.
Speaking of police work, is it me or is the directional signal sort of like gone for good at this point?
Well, you get both sides of it. Some people will turn on that blinker and they'll keep it on for 3 miles.
Yes,
But, you know, 3
that's
miles
true.
down the road, they're going to make that right turn sooner or later.
Exactly.
And then some people, they'll say, oh, you know what, I just missed my turn. They go all the way across.
Right, exactly. And then lastly, for someone that's watching, you know, at home out there, they may be watching from anywhere in the United States or overseas, what would you say to them about moving to the Sunshine City, you know, St. Petersburg, Florida? What would you say to them about what it's like to live here, and is it safe to live here?
Well, first of all, it's very safe to live here. And moving to St. Pete was like 9.5 years ago, the best thing for me as my law enforcement career. There are great men and women that work for the St. Pete Police Department, and most importantly, there are great people that live in the city of St. Petersburg. They're very law enforcement friendly, and they really do want to understand why we do what we do, and they want to help us continue to reduce the fear of crime in our city.
Yeah, well, Chief, it's been an honor and a privilege to have you here tonight. Continued success. I mean, you are really setting the bar for police officers and departments all around the country, and we are honored to have you here, and we sleep better at night because you're on your post.
Well, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
All right, stick around. We'll be right back. Our next guest, Tanya Christensen is, by all accounts, a Renaissance woman. She's a mom, she's a TV home shopping celebrity on QVC HSN, and an online sensation, having created Mom on a Shelf. But most importantly, she can be seen as a serious actress in dozens of guilty pleasure films and TV series. And at 5'2", she can bring the heat.
Welcome to this year's Miss Northeastern Georgia Dreams Pageant.
Come with me. The simple fact is, you don't qualify.
There has to be something I can do.
I suppose I could accept a unique form of collateral.
Please welcome Tanya Christensen, everybody.
Hi. Hi there.
It's so
Thank
great
you for having me.
Oh, it's so great to see you. Thank you so much for coming.
Of course.
Everybody in the building has been excited. Everybody's been watching.
Waiting with bated breath, I'm sure.
No, I'm serious. I'm a huge fan.
I know you are.
No, I am.
I know.
She was running around the QVC HSN studios the other day giving out booze.
Well, that's true.
Because she's the mom on a shelf.
I had Fireball in my bag.
She had a box full of airline-size liquor bottles.
Yeah.
You were the most popular person in that building, probably for
you can
days.
only have so many sweets.
Right.
So I was like, what can I do that's a little bit different? A little rum chata.
Right.
A little Fireball. Why not?
All right, everybody go back to work. Come on, seriously, let's get on with this interview here. How old were you when you knew that you wanted to be in the business of show?
I don't think there was a time when I never wanted to be in the business. You know, when you're little and everyone says, what do you want to do when you're little? What do you want to do when you grow up?
Sure.
From the time I remember, at 3, 4, I always said I'm going to be an actress. And my mom, I remember her just going, okay.
Yeah.
Let's have a backup plan.
Right, yeah. Plan B.
Let's have a plan B.
Absolutely.
No, but she was actually very supportive, and she would put me in, I grew up in a very small town in Virginia, and she put me in everything she could get her hands on, from community theater to the church plays. I was always the angel, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I was in a traveling choir in high school. We traveled up and down the East Coast, and I can't sing. I would mouth the words. I mean, that's acting.
Okay.
Okay. So I've always had this passion, and I guess the first paid job that I ever had, where it actually became a career for me, was right out of college, and then I just kind of went from there.
And was that a home shopping TV experience?
I said, I just want a job as soon as I graduate, and I was looking through the paper. It said on-air talent wanted, and I was like, it could be great, or it could be something very scary.
Right.
It was before caller ID. I was like, I'll just hang up the phone if it's bad. And it was
Sure.
for a shopping network, and it was one of the original owners of QVC.
Oh, wow.
Sold his stock, started up his own network, and that was my first job right out of the gate. And it's, home shopping isn't acting,
right?
But sometimes we have to pretend like we like something more than we do.
Oh, sure.
Sure.
But you've been in a number of films, a number of television shows. Is there a personal favorite of yours that you would like our viewers to watch if they get a chance, because you're really proud of the work that you did in it?
I audition, I get the job, I put my heart and soul into it. I'm very proud of The Mulligan, which is a faith-based movie starring Pat Boone, who's become a very dear and close friend of mine, and Eric Close.
Oh,
I was proud of Legacies. I thought that was kind of campy and a little sexy. A Dangerous Affair was a Lifetime. And I played a woman named Barbara, and I was this very wealthy cougar that was always after the younger guy, and whenever I could, I'd just give him a little touch or a little tap. That's fun.
Yeah.
That's a guilty pleasure.
Well, you live in Sarasota, Florida. Isn't that cougar town, basically?
All I have to do is sit back and watch, and I get my material.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Any really funny outtake while you're filming one of those shows or TV?
There's always, there were a few. I did Legacies, which is the clip that you just showed.
Sure.
And then I had to go with Matt Davis. I had to help him with his tie, and then I had to run my leg up his legs. And the director said, just when you get to a certain point, he'll drop the papers. Well, I kept going and going, and then I was up in there, and the director goes, "Cut. We don't need to go that far."
Right.
And I was like, "Well, he never dropped his papers."
Well, you're committed to the scene.
I was very committed.
I think you should be commended for being committed.
Thank
to the
you.
scene.
I mean, he didn't drop the papers, so I kept going. That was a funny little memory that I have. They're kind of too many to count. You know,
Right.
when there's so many in my brain, I'm like, which one do you tell? But that has to be the latest.
And how many kids do you have?
I have 2.
You have 2 kids. Are they interested in following in your footsteps?
I have a daughter that's 21, a son that's 17. The son has 0 interest. My daughter is very interested.
Okay.
And so she's big in TikTok, social media. She's done some shorts, but she's also at FSU, so she's got to kind of think about
Let's have a little TikTok moment, shall we?
Okay.
Ready?
Oh, okay. Wow.
5 billion hits. Okay.
100%.
Oh, you want to say hi to her?
Oh, Morgan. Hi. Morgan Christensen.
Okay.
You can find her on TikTok,
Okay.
find her on Instagram.
All right. At this point in the interview, we call this the lightning round. We film this in the Tampa Bay area.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. Now we're going to ask 5 questions. You have 60 seconds to answer.
Oh.
There are no correct answers, or are there? All right. Here we go. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. Question number 1. You created Mom on the Shelf for the holidays.
Yes.
Was there a martini involved?
There was not one martini involved. There may have been a few.
Correct answer. Number 2. You're originally from a small town.
Yes.
What is the truth behind the meaning of bless her heart?
Dearest Dana told me so much about you before she passed.
All good things, I hope.
Not remotely.
Yeah.
Bless your heart. Okay. Whatever that happens to
I
be.
feel sorry for you,
There
basically.
it is. That's what bless your
yes,
heart. Okay.
Yes.
If you could play a famous person in history,
Oh.
who would it be?
A famous person.
You have 30 seconds.
I don't know.
Any person.
Play a person?
I don't know.
I auditioned for Eleanor Roosevelt. Okay,
Oh, there you
let's
go.
do that. Sure, why not?
All right, Eleanor, you'd have to do something about the teeth. Number 4. Why are there so many songs about rainbows?
Because who doesn't love a rainbow?
There
Let's
it
make
is.
a song about it.
All right, and the 5th and final question for the win. How many times when your husband is telling a story that you've heard a million times do you want to say, and cut?
Every single
time. That is correct. Where can everybody see your stuff or get in touch with you?
I'm on IMDb. You can just look up Tanya Christensen. I'm on Instagram, Tanya H. Christensen. And on Instagram, I just do behind the scenes. So it's only behind the scenes and the things that are on HSN.
Which is so much fun.
It is so much fun. This is what I love.
It's been so much fun having you.
I love seeing you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, our pleasure. All right, don't move a muscle. Put the remote down. None of this, none of this, none of this. More tonight coming up. Well, that's our show. Thank you so much for joining us. Hey, if you'd like to sponsor the show, or if you know somebody, or if you'd like to be a guest on the show, there's an email for that. It's sales@redhousestreaming.com. Goodbye now.